one of the more harder picks for sure does belong to the Sacramento Kings. I really had no idea who to select with this pick, so I feel like there might be some disagreements, which I'm ready to hear from in the comments, but I pretty much just decided to go for not only the best available, but the best shooter in the whole goddamn draft class. Again, if you haven't already, I do highly recommend you guys go and check out my official 2024 NBA mock draft. That's why if you're wondering why I didn't take a certain player with this pick, it might just be because I already selected him with a different pick to a different team. So highly recommend you guys go and check that out. Again, at the time making this video, we don't know what the official 2024 NBA draft lottery is going to look like, who's won and who's lost. So again, this is just based off NBA standings. So I guess without further ado, here's who I think Sacramento should select. Now with the 13th overall pick, we have the Sacramento Kings, who this is a really tough pick because I think Sacramento are pretty good on a lot of things. They've got a couple of young guys who are still coming through. They, of course, have a couple other things here and there going on that we obviously know. Some players might not be on this team. They might be traded. Some players might leave. We'll see how Malik Monk goes next season. Will he return free agency? Not too sure. But with this 13th overall pick, it's hard to say what they need at this time, just because I think there will be a couple of different movements for Sacramento. But with pick 13, I kind of decided to go best available and what I think they might need. And that is, of course, Shepard, who is a very tough player to put in this draft. Because even though I've got him going 13 to Sacramento, a lot of people have him ranked at pick 7. And the thing is, he is the best shooter in this draft class by an absolute mile. This dude, he could come into the NBA straight away and be one of the best shooters. And with, as I said, Sacramento, will Malik Monk come back? I'm not exactly too sure. They have a couple other point guards / guards that might be getting moved through trades, through free agency, this and that. I figured there's a 6'3" dude right now who is currently balling up in college for Kentucky, who is not only the best shooter in this class, but is an extremely good playmaker, a very good shot creator who is super crafty when he has the ball in his hands, especially around the perimeter. He's got excellent hands on defense. He can strip the ball away from anyone. He's pretty good at guarding point guards and smaller shooting guards. He's super smart, and he just knows how to play the modern day game. Again, Reed is a unique talent. He's a bit of an undersized player for the point guard, or shooting guard position, sorry. He isn't an elite athlete, but just he's a great ability with the ball in his hands to be one of the best shooters in all of college, which should translate to the NBA, is insane. He's got a solid frame, decent movement skills, and is actually pretty decent around the rim. And I think secret is he can also play make. There are, of course, some issues with Shepard that kind of make me like, well, can he fit in the NBA level? Because we know his shooting and his offense is going to be so NBA level perfect. But his size and how he plays might be a question. And what I mean by that is, as I said earlier, he's a 6'3", probably going to have to be a point guard in the NBA. But the way he plays like a shooting guard. As I said, he's a very good defender when he's guarding the point guard positions earlier. Extremely good hands and does pretty well at guarding that position. Unfortunately, sometimes, especially when he gets switched on to small forwards or just a taller shooting guard, it is a nightmare for him. You got a 6'3" dude who is a decent defender, as I just said, who would have to potentially guard, you know, a 6'6" to 6'8" shooting guard / small forward in the NBA. He just gets absolutely torched every time. And this is where I was a bit scared, because I was like, is Mike Brown, who is such a good defensive coach, one of the league's best, you know, I think, will he be able to have a guy like Shepard? Again, Mike Brown has become a pretty good offensive coach, I think, in his time too. Some might even know him for that now. But with how I see it, it does scare me a little bit having a dude like Shepard in this team just based off his defense not being great. But as I mentioned earlier, there will be movement with this Sacramento team. They've got Fox at the 1, like I said, Kevin Huerter at the 2 as their main guards. But if I remember right, Kevin Huerter did recently just get injured. I'm not exactly too sure for how long, but I think he'll definitely play, I think the majority of next season. I think he's getting shoulder surgery, so we'll have to see how he goes with there. But as I said, Malik Monk, he's going to get a ton of contract offers. I expect him to come back, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was to potentially see a massive offer from another team and be gone. Chris Duarte, I don't know if he will be on this team for much longer. I don't know if I really rate him as a player. Davion Mitchell as well. He could definitely get traded. It just really hasn't worked out that much on this Sacramento Kings team. So there will definitely be a massive hole for them to go out and look for some more, I think, guards, depending how a lot of this free agency and trade period does play out. Reed Shepard is a scoring machine who is an elite shooter who you're always going to love. And with pick 13, you're not going to expect to get some game-changing player, especially in this draft, which has been so noted to be such a weaker draft. You might just have to bite the bullet and bring in a guy like Reed Shepard, because he is such a great offensive player. Again, his defense might not fit this Sacramento Kings team, but I think bite the bullet and see how you go, because I think the upside for the Sacramento Kings team with Reed Shepard in it is very good, and it takes a ton of pressure off your team if Malik Monk leaves, because then you can say, well, we got a great scoring guard off the bench now who is an elite shooter who can just completely make up for that. And then if Malik Monk decides to stay, well, having him and Malik Monk on the court together at the same time would be so beautiful to watch offensively. It would not be funny for a lot of other NBA teams. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below, guys. What do you think about this official 2024 NBA mock draft lottery? Again, highly recommend you guys go and check out my previous video where I do, of course, do the top 10. That way, again, you'll see who I have all the other teams selecting with higher picks. Again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for the latest sports content and news. My gaming channel and my IRL/vlogging channels. Links for them will be in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.